Let's begin with the biggest expose yet on Murtaza. The probe into the Gorakhnath Temple attack has widened, with sources now revealing that the Uttar Pradesh police had been keeping a watch on him even before the attack happened. That's the information that has been revealed, that he was on radar of the police officials much before the attack came to light in Gorakhpur.
मनीष हमारे साथ जुड़ रहे हैं and we also have Amir joining us at this point. मनीष, ये जहां तक अगर हम बिगेस्ट एक्सपोजर के बारे में बात करें तो क्योंकि सवाल उठाए जा सकते हैं, जहां तक इसके पहले उसकी सोच क्या थी, उसके एक्शंस क्या थे। बताया जा रहा था कि उसके बैंक अकाउंट्स भी कुछ उसमें ट्रांजैक्शंस हुई हैं, फॉरेन ट्रांजैक्शंस हुई हैं, which were under the radar.
देखिए 2013 के बाद से जब से उसका पासपोर्ट बना, उसकी सोच बदलती गई। वो जिहादी एक्टिविटी में इन्वॉल्व होता रहा। वो ऐसा इंटरनेट पे ऐसे वेबसाइट को सर्च किया करता था जो कट्टर इस्लामीकरण की ओर जाती हुई दिखाई देती थी, जिससे उसकी सोच एकदम कट्टरपंथी हो चली थी। उसे लगता था कि मुस्लिमों के साथ पूरी दुनिया भर में अन्याय हो रहा है। उसने कई मदरसों में जाना शुरू कर दिया था। ATS के सूत्रों की माने तो नेपाल बॉर्डर से सटे हुए कई मदरसों में उसका लगातार आना जाना रहा करता था। देवबंद के फतेहपुर गांव से जिस शख्स को हिरासत में लिया गया है, जानकारी ये मिल रही है कि उसके साथ वो नेपाल भी गया था। एक मौलाना जिससे मिलने वो 1 अप्रैल को, घटना से ठीक एक दिन पहले वो नेपाल गया था, उस मौलाना से उसकी मुलाकात नहीं हो पाई थी, जिसके बाद वो वापस सिद्धार्थनगर आकर उसने गोरखपुर पहुंचकर घटना को अंजाम दिया था। तो सोच में धीरे धीरे करके उसके बदलाव आ रहा था। उसने कई वीडियोस, एक अमेरिकी यमन इमाम है अनवर, उनकी वीडियोस वो सुना करता था। अबू हमजा की वीडियो सुना करता था। अरब कंट्री में जो नाटो सेनाओं की एक्टिविटी हुई है उसमें गोरिल्ला पैटर्न, खासतौर पर वो वीडियो लगातार देखा करता था। और अपने पेन ड्राइव में उसने अदीम नाम से वो वीडियो सेव भी किए थे। तो वो करीब 2014 के बाद से लगातार इस तरह की एक्टिविटी में इन्वॉल्व होता गया। विदेशी सिम जो खरीदा था उसने, वो इन्हीं प्रतिबंधित वेबसाइट को देखने के लिए खरीदा था। और विदेशी सिम का इस्तेमाल इसी तरह की वेबसाइट को देखने में किया करता था। वो कुछ अकाउंट भी उसके वेबसाइट पर मिले हैं जिनको लॉगिन करके उनका डेटा निकालने की कोशिश की जा रही है।
Okay, all right. Let's also go across to Pranesh, who's joining us. Pranesh, information now suggesting that the UP ATS was keeping a watch on him, and he had also been raided on April 2nd, just a day before the attack outside the temple.
What Manish has managed to access for us is very big. Pratibha, this is the biggest disclosure in the Gorakhnath Mandir terror attack case. For the first time, we have now confirmation that this was not a stray incident. This was not a random strike. This was perhaps part of a larger jihadi plot, that the attack on Gorakhnath Mandir in Gorakhpur, whose chief priest is none other than Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath, was pre-planned. What the ATS is telling Times Now is that Murtaza was raided 2 days before he struck. 2 days before, 48 hours ago, ATS team landed up at Murtaza's house because the money trail had been under the scanner. 8 lakh rupees was transferred from an account in Nepal to Syria. That alerted the police. And when the police team went there, they posed some questions. They posed questions to Murtaza's family. Murtaza's family alerted him, and Murtaza did not return for the next 2 days. In these 2 days, we are being told by top officials that this attack was planned. Perhaps it was a hasty decision to do something before he is nabbed. 8 lakh rupees was the trigger that alerted the UP police officials. The ATS team goes to Murtaza's house. Murtaza's family speaks to Murtaza. Murtaza does not come home for next 2 days, and then he lands up with a machete at the Gorakhnath Mandir. This is the biggest disclosure, biggest news breaking first on Times Now. Amir Haq also joining us. And Amir, all those people, the ecosystem, Akhilesh Yadav, what have you, all these people who are saying that, look, he's a mentally unstable mind, what will they say today?
Well, clearly, Pranesh, they have no answers to what have been the findings of the ATS or the Special Task Force over the last 3 to 4 days. In fact, now with the kind of information that we have, it is absolutely clear that this person, the accused, had actually been, hobnobbing with perhaps unwanted elements over the last several years, and that the kind of money that he had transferred to either Syria or other countries, or his visits to Nepal, does have a bearing on what exactly happened outside the Gorakhnath Temple on this Sunday. Now, it is absolutely clear now that those two people who actually visited his place on a motorbike were actually cops, that they went there to question him and his family in detail, but since he was not there and he had gone to Maharajganj and then perhaps to Nepal, he was informed by his uncle that these cops had come inquiring about him. That is when he, perhaps out of frustration, came out with those sharp-edged weapons and conducted that attack on the policemen outside the Gorakhnath Temple. So things now clearly adding up. The sequence of events actually becoming very clear that Murtaza was on the radar of the intelligence agencies, as far as well as the UP ATS and the STF, which is why he had an inkling that the cops will come after him, and therefore perhaps out of frustration he committed this act. Otherwise, this might actually have been a much planned and much more better executed attack than what we saw on the Sunday night.
But Manish, कितने रीजन थे ये ट्रांजैक्शंस? पहले कब शक हुआ यूपी एटीएस को?
देखिए, जो ट्रांजैक्शन हुए हैं उसने पढ़ाई के दौरान भी किए हैं। 2012 से लेकर 2014 के बीच कुछ ट्रांजैक्शन होने की खबर है। पेपल एक ऐप होता है, उस ऐप के जरिए वो ट्रांजैक्शन हुए हैं। उसके बाद 2020 से लेकर 2021 के भी कुछ ट्रांजैक्शन हुए हैं, जिसमें 8 लाख रकम बताई जा रही है, जो कि सीरिया भेजी गई है। ATS इसकी जांच में जुटी हुई है। एक बड़ी चीज़, जो 25 मार्च को ISIS ने एक वीडियो जारी किया था, जिसमें ये दावा किया था कि इंडिया में उसके 4 स्लीपर सेल काम कर रहे हैं, और उनकी जो तस्वीरें हैं उसमें जो लोग बैठे हैं उसमें बांका लिए हुए लोग नज़र आ रहे हैं, जो उर्दू अरबी में बात कर रहे हैं। और जो मुर्तज़ा का पैटर्न है अटैक का, उसमें भी उसने बांके का इस्तेमाल किया है। तो दोनों 25 मार्च को जारी किया गया वीडियो, एक उसमें जानकारी कि 4 स्लीपर सेल इंडिया में मौजूद हैं, दूसरा बांके का इस्तेमाल और लहराते हुए लोग, और जो मुर्तजा के अगर तस्वीर को देखें उसमें भी बांके का इस्तेमाल। ये सारी चीज़ें आपस में कनेक्ट हो सकती हैं। ATS इस एंगल से भी जांच कर रही है। तो IS का जो कनेक्शन था वो और स्ट्रॉन्ग होता जा रहा है कि वो ISIS से कहीं प्रभावित था या फिर ISIS के हैंडलर से संपर्क में था। तो इस दिशा में भी ATS पड़ताल करने में जुटी हुई है, और जो जानकारी है कि और स्लीपर सेल हो सकते हैं, तो उनकी भी तह तक जाने की कोशिश ATS कर रही है। देवबंद से जिस शख्स को उठाया गया है उससे पड़ताल की जा रही है, और साथ ही नेपाल सीमा से भी 2 संदिग्ध को आज हिरासत में लिया।
trail that really alerted the ATS. Manish, stay with us. We have some breaking news coming in as well. SP Neta now echoing what the party chief has said as well, doubting the terror probe. Now there's proof he was under the radar of the ATS, but the SP now still doubting this terror angle and backing the unstable theory.
कि तो कितने मुसलमानों के साथ कितना आतंक हो रहा है, उसे कोई नहीं देखता है। और ये अगर उसका दिमाग ख़राब है तो कुछ भी कर सकता है। तो ठीक है, उसको उसी टाइप की उसकी गलती को सज़ा देनी चाहिए। पहले उसका चेकअप करना चाहिए। अगर वो उसका दिमाग ठीक नहीं है तो वो दूसरी बात है। और उसने किसी ने कोई जानबूझकर कोई बात की है तो मसला दूसरा है। तो इसलिए मैं चाहूँगा कि इसमें, जैसा कि हमारे कलीग जी ने भी कहा है, कि उसका चेकअप होना चाहिए, पूरी जांच होनी चाहिए, उसके बाद में कोई कार्रवाई हो।
Amir, why is the Samajwadi Party hell-bent on proving him to be of mentally unsound mind? Why?
Well, Amita, we've seen in the past as well. Around the time in 2012, Akhilesh Yadav came in as the chief minister. As per the manifesto that was put forward by the Samajwadi Party, they had rallied for various such accused who were inside the jail on terror charges. So this time as well, the ruling BJP now says that it is the same approach towards terror.
Amir, stay with us. In fact, we have A.L. Banerjee, DGP, or former DGP of UP, joining us. Mr. Banerjee, this person, Murtaza, was under the radar of the ATS. Immediately after he was, the ATS visited his house, he left and he was outside the Gorakhnath Temple. How do you look at this development?
See, all I know about this incident is through news reports or television reports. As far as the ATS is being very concerned about him, following him, seeing what he's doing, etc., for a single man to escape scrutiny for a while, for 1 hour, 2 hours, is not a very difficult thing. When ATS should have taken action, that depends on the ATS itself. Because now they are saying that he'd been sending money to Syria via the Nepal corridor, etc. But pointedly, I want to make a point here that this man is not a lone wolf operation. He akela nahi hai. There are sleeper cells with him. There are overground workers with him. And he's operating on that premise. But he also seems to be a little off the rocker because the kind of an attack he carried out, or supposedly the attack he carried out in Gorakhpur, does not point to a very mature state of mind. Does not point to a very mature state of mind. Now, this increases the pressure on the Uttar Pradesh police to dig into the sleeper cells, de-radicalize people, because this is happening because of radicalization. In the whole of Uttar Pradesh, in the whole of India, I don't think there is a school, there is a place, there is a area where de-radicalization is given a thought, or even there is a curriculum by which de-radicalization takes place. It is recognized nonetheless, but nothing happens. So that is how I look at it. Yeah.
Okay, but the fact that he was under the ATS radar, would you say that it establishes the fact that this was not, an attack that took place in the spur of the moment, as a few political leaders have been saying? This seemed to be a planned attack.
I never said that it is a planned attack. I am saying that this is a lone wolf attack, single person attacking. Invariably, once in a while, you hear about mass murders in America. Some gunman comes out, he shoots a couple of people, then he's shot down, etc. Now, those are lone wolf attacks. Now, these people are going to basically act in a lone wolf manner until and unless taken into custody much earlier.
Right, so it is when they're, sir, investigating the case because they are looking into all of those angles there, especially when it comes to certain transactions that exactly had raised the doubt first. Mr. Banerjee, sir, thank you very much for joining in with your point of view. Pranesh, now that's the point that we are talking about. If there were multiple transactions all through the years, international transactions that seems to be happening, there was already a suspicion on this man.
You heard the former UP DGP, Mr. Banerjee, saying that this is not a lone wolf attack, that this man was perhaps part of a sleeper cell, a terror module. But while all this thing will be ascertained during the course of the investigation, we don't want to jump the gun, but the disclosure that we have on Times Now because of Manish is very damning. This suggests that this man was raided. He was under the scanner of the UP ATS because 8 lakh was transferred from a Nepal bank account to a bank account in Syria. Now, all those people, Amita and Pratibha, who are suggesting that, look, this man is mentally unstable, I just have a few questions for them. The man has the sense to go open a foreign bank account. The man can somehow send money from Nepal to Syria. The man escaped scrutiny of the police for the 2 days after he was alerted by the police. But the ecosystem would have us believe that, look, something is not right about him mentally, and this is all exaggeration. Why are we jumping to give him a clean sheet? Let the agencies probe.
Yes. Exactly, because what you're saying, Pranesh, is being echoed by the top BJP leaders also. Giriraj Singh has reacted to this. In fact, this is one of his fiercest attacks that he seems to be making on Akhilesh Yadav and the other leaders of the Samajwadi Party, that let the investigation happen. Why is the Samajwadi Party already giving a clean check to the accused? Listen in.
अभी तक तो अखिलेश यादव एक राजनीतिक व्यक्ति थे, लेकिन अब पता चला कि मनोवैज्ञानिक डॉक्टर भी हो गए। वोट के डॉक्टर तो हैं। तुष्टीकरण को लेकर के अखिलेश यादव ने जो उत्तर प्रदेश के हालात को बना दिया, अब अपराधियों के संरक्षण में खड़े हो रहे हैं। कभी देश और राज्य माफ नहीं करेगा अखिलेश यादव। जिस मुर्तजा ने जो अपराध किया वो आतंकी हमले थे, वो दिमागी और संतुलन नहीं।
All right, so the BJP is saying, what's the harm? Let the probe take place. Why is Akhilesh Yadav jumping to give him a free pass? Anila Singh of the BJP joining us on this broadcast. Anila, Akhilesh Yadav, the SP leaders have been saying that Murtaza jo hai, he is just a, it's a mentally unstable case. He was not planning any attack. By giving a terror angle, the UP police is misleading people.
My Ram to everyone, and I am not at all surprised the way Akhilesh Yadav ji is advocating for this person accused Murtaza, because it is a history when we have seen that Mulayam Singh Yadav ji advocating for terrorists. We have seen Akhilesh Yadav ji doing exactly what his father did. So if in today's date he is advocating for Murtaza, it is not at all a shocking or a surprising news for us, because he has that type of mindset that he has to appease. He has to be into appeasement politics, whether the person is a terrorist or whether a person is a criminal. It is very unfortunate, because in today's date, Samajwadi Party is the biggest, largest opposition party in Uttar Pradesh, and the chief of Samajwadi Party is saying, अरे कोई बात नहीं, मानसिक संतुलन गड़बड़ था और ऐसा कुछ नहीं है, उसके जो पिताजी कह रहे हैं उस पर हमें ध्यान देना चाहिए, तो जाकर ये भी जवाब दे दे कर उसका मानसिक संतुलन ठीक नहीं था तो वो दूसरी शादी भी कर रहा था. So I mean, this is very unfortunate, I can say, that a party.
Well, the thing is that as far as the investigation is concerned, Anila ji, वो कोई पूरी करने नहीं दे रहा है. As far as जांच पड़ताल हो रही है, उससे पहले खत्म होने दीजिए, and then come out with a conclusion exactly what came out of it. Thank you very much, Anila ji, for joining us here on the broadcast. This is the biggest expose first playing out here on Times Now. You've heard it first here as far as the probe in the Gorakhnath Mandir case is concerned, because sources are now revealing that the UP police was keeping a watch on Murtaza even before the attack had happened. We'll slip into a short break, getting you more news details on the other side.